welcome to What Pet Should I Get? My name is Julia Batchelor. We have an excellent program today. Claire Forendron is here from Dog Tales Rescue and Sanctuary. Susan Kleinberg will be here later on in the program from Team Cat Rescue. And up first, we have the lovely Callie Milliman here from the Ontario SPCA, and she has brought the equally lovely and soon to be getting sleepy Tigger, who is an adorable little kitten looking for a forever home. But before we start talking about Tigger, we're talking about obviously what happens when you bring your newly adopted cat home.
Yes.
And let's first start talking about bringing a cat or kitten, because they have a bit more needs, I think, to a home that doesn't have any cats there.
Sure. So it's important, you know, I always have my sort of tips that I bring to adopters, or that I tell new cat owners when they're first bringing a cat home. And I think the first thing to keep in mind is that they're going to need time. And that's transition time for them to settle into a new space. You know, if you are adopting, your cat's coming from a shelter environment, and that can be an environment that, you know, sometimes isn't the most calm or quiet environment in the world. And sometimes they have never even been in a home.
Sometimes they're kind of isolated too, because they have to stay in a cage depending on the shelter's facilities, right?
Exactly, right? So when I think about even a kitten like Tigger, who is young, and his first stop was, or sorry, her first stop was in a shelter, you know, they haven't seen the inside of a home. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to.
A lot of stimulation there.
Yeah, and giving them the full run of the home can be overwhelming. So, you know, like you just said, coming from a small space and suddenly now they have this huge house to navigate. You know, I've heard many adopters say, I got the cat home and they've been hiding under a bed or a couch and they're not coming out, and it's just too much. So if you have a room to set aside for them, that's best, whether it be a spare room or perhaps a laundry room or a room with a door that can close so that they can have their own quiet space. That's ideal. And then of course you want to get the room set up for them. So first things first, we need cat litter. We usually recommend having one more cat litter box for the number of cats in the home. So you could have two for one cat. Yeah, and space them out. Of course, then you want to have your food and water. Of course, your food and water dishes go along with that. And then some toys, maybe a bed. And the way we say to set the room up is to look at the face of a clock, and you have 12 and 6, 9 and 3. Have the litter at one end, the food and water at another, and then of course your play and your bed on opposite sides as well. And that will help to just create their own quiet little space for them.
Well, I know too, a lot of homes, sometimes they put everything together. Maybe not so much the bed, but I have seen setups where a litter box is somewhat close, maybe in the kitchen, and you have to realize that a cat has such an acutely sensitive sense of smell that you're basically having them eat right near where they poop, and that's off-putting.
It is, and it can be, and it can disrupt their eat or their washroom. So you don't want to do that. We want to make sure getting them into their new home to reduce stress levels. We want to make sure they're eating well and, of course, going to the washroom well. So don't mix those two things.
Now, like a lot of people who are animal lovers, such as myself and adopters, we have more than one.
Absolutely.
So I have I had two cats, but I have recently adopted a third. I have a 6-month-old kitten named Rupert, and he's awesome, but he's a handful because he's a kitten. Like I always say, he has 2 speeds, stop and go. And the integration has been a little bit rocky. I just want to show the viewers, I'm going to show you, these are my cats that I had before. That's Milo and Pumpkin. Milo, the little gray guy there, actually they're not little, they're like 20 pounds. He's actually from the Ontario SPCA, and he was a kitten when I brought him home. So him and Pumpkin, they had their moments, but they've been together now for 7 years, so they're buddies. And now I've upset the balance in my house, and I've brought home our little Rupert, and I'm just going to show you a little video of him because he's adorable. But just to give you an idea what it's like having, there he is. This is a typical day. This is him in go mode.
I love it.
And he's a danger cat. He likes anywhere that we were carving pumpkins the other week, and he had to get his face right close to a knife. And I'm like,
cute.
Oh my goodness, like, you know, talk about kitten proofing. It's just, you have to be on top of it.
For sure.
How do we make the transition for an established household with cats already? how do we make it smooth when we're bringing in the third guy, fourth guy, or whatever you have?
It can be tricky, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about territory. So your pre-existing cats are going, okay, this is my house, this is my space. Who is this new kid you've brought in? And like you said, disrupting the whole flow we had going here. I always say the best way to do an introduction at first is to do a soft introduction, and that's an introduction using the sense of smell, and not actually having them necessarily meet right off the bat. And the best way to do that is, as we mentioned, to have their own quiet space for the new guy. But everybody can think of, I'm sure, a space in their house where their cat likes to lay down, whether it be on a blanket, on a pillow on the couch, maybe it's somewhere on your bed. Take something, an item like a pillow or a blanket that would have your cat smell all over it, and put it in the room with your new cat, and vice versa. Take your new cat's little blanket or toys or something and set it in a common area for your pre-existing cats to sniff out, because that's going to give them an opportunity to sort of suss the situation out, as it were, before actually meeting the new guy. They can sort of smell, and that's the kind of number one way that animals communicate is through scent. So they can kind of smell each other out, get to know the new guy, and then when it's time and you're ready for them to meet, make sure it's a supervised meeting. So you're being a part of the actual introduction, obviously, just to keep an eye on things and make sure that it's all friendly.
You don't want
and
it all
kosher.
claws and teeth.
No, we don't want it all claws and teeth. And what you want to do is make it a positive experience. And the best way we can do that is with play.
Yeah.
So get your cat's favorite toys or favorite activities and sit down maybe with them for a half an hour or so with some treats, because we want to reward the good interaction and the positive behavior. So when we see them reacting positively to one another, we're petting them, we're giving them rewards, all that good stuff.
And obviously time is always a factor, so make sure that you allow the time, because sometimes my cat's only been with me now, our new guy, going on 3 weeks. And I see it's getting better.
Yes.
And I imagine that as time passes and he mellows out a little and matures, everybody's going to get along and they'll figure out their hierarchy, who's the boss there.
That's right.
Now, before we run out of time and before we talk about Tigger, I just want to talk quickly about the partnership that you have right now with Arm & Hammer.
Yes, so big shout out to Arm & Hammer and a big thank you to Arm & Hammer, because they have donated 1,300 boxes of their clump and seal cat litter to our animal centers right across the province. So right now, in conjunction with our I Adopt for the Holidays campaign and our $99 reduced adoption fee for cats, when you come in to adopt, you will get a free box of Arm & Hammer clump and seal cat litter, which is the perfect way, as we're talking about, to transition your cat into a new home. We're making sure that you're going home ready. You will also have this little adoption kit pamphlet right here that we have today, and it's got some of the tips that we just talked about today to make every new cat adopter feel comfortable with bringing their new cat home.
Excellent. And we're almost out of time. So Tigger, little girl, she's available for adoption.
She's available right now, so come to the adoption center and visit with her, because she's absolutely adorable.
She is. And you pick up some Arm & Hammer cat litter, make sure that her home is all ready for her.
Yes.
For more information, you can visit our website. And remember, right now, the adoption fee is only $99. She's fixed. She is microchipped, and
ready
she's been vetted. So she's full package, and that's a great price.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Callie, for being on the show.
Thank
and thank you, Tigger, for being such a good little kitten.
Yes.
And we'll see you on the other side of the break. Hello and welcome back. Joining me now is Claire Forndren from Dogtails Rescue and Sanctuary. Hello, Claire. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I know you're feeling a little under the weather today. So we have today with us Hoppy.
We do have
Oh,
Hoppy.
look, she's like, my
He
name.
knows
Somebody called
his
my
name.
But before we talk about Hoppy, I just want to do a quick update with you. Last week when you were here, actually it was Tamara.
Yes.
She brought in Valentine and Cindy, who are a bonded pair. Can we just show our viewers a reminder of how cute these two dogs are? Look at them. They're so beautiful.
The sweetest pair.
And just, I like to always mention Gotcha Studios, who does your photography, takes the most beautiful portraits. And I do believe you can get your pets' portraits done with her, right?
So you can, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
And she volunteers her time, so all of the photos that she takes of our dogs, she takes for free. So
well, you guys have a lot of dogs.
we have a lot of dogs. What do you do?
We're going to get to you in a second. Hang on. So before we talk about you, Hoppy, Valentine and Cindy, what's the update?
Unfortunately, there isn't much of an update right now.
only been a
They're
week.
still waiting. So yeah, we're still hopeful that family is yet to come.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're interested in Valentine Hoppy, they're still available and waiting for their forever homes at Dogtails.
Yes.
Visit them on Sundays because they're open from 11 to 5.
Every Sunday.
Yeah. So now let's talk about Hoppy because Hoppy's a very special dog.
He is.
Now tell us his story. How did he get to Dogtails?
So Hoppy actually came to our rescue all the way from Greece. So he was hit by a car and essentially left at the side of the road for dead. And another rescue group took him in and nursed him back to health. And in doing so, they realized that Hoppy has very limited vision.
Was this because of being hit by the car?
Well, they weren't sure why, but they knew that it would be very hard for them to find him a home if he had, you know, some special needs. And they knew about us and the fact that special needs dogs really do have such a close place in our hearts.
You guys are definitely, you specialize in the dogs that are harder to adopt.
Yeah.
That makes you very special.
Yeah, so they reached out to us. They reached out to us and asked if there was any way that we could take in Hoppy because they felt that he was such a special dog and really deserved a chance, and they felt that we were his best chance. So we took him in. He arrived a couple months ago, and the first thing that our vet wanted to do was book a neurology consult to try and figure out what was going on with his vision. And unfortunately, in doing so, we learned that Hoppy has a degenerative brain defect, which the best way to explain it is kind of that Hoppy will be like a puppy for life. So it's hard for him to process information. So he's a dog that will have accidents in the house and that will have issues learning basic commands. So with Hoppy, it's really what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So he really needs a family that will love him for him.
Yeah.
So what we're looking for Hoppy, because he does need medication to manage his disease to try and prevent it from worsening, we're looking for what we call a forever foster home. So a family that can take Hoppy in and love him, but we will be paying all of his vet bills.
And
so the
that's
cost
incredible.
of his medications for the rest of his life, we will cover. We just want him to be in a home.
What medication does he need to take? Is it an oral pill? Is it an injection? What do you have to do?
It's a pill. So it's a pill that he takes every day. We're trying to lower the dosage and get it to a point where he's on a very minimal amount of medication, if anything at all. But it's a slow process to get there. So he definitely needs a very committed family.
How has he been with, because I know you have like play groups and everything at Dogtails to see how the dogs react with other dogs. How's Hoppy with other dogs?
He is amazing
Yeah.
with other dogs. Yeah, he is so fun to watch in the play group. He's probably one of the more social dogs that we have right now, really. So he'd be great in a home with other animals.
I think too, sometimes, like, you know, I think we touched on this before, dogs with special needs, sometimes, I mean, obviously you need humans that take the time and have the understanding to give that dog what he needs to have a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
But one of the elements I think that can really help a dog such as Hoppy is being with another dog, or like an able-bodied dog, or even maybe another dog with special needs, because, you know, dogs are pack animals, and it's I mean, humans are become part of the pack, but having another dog with them is, it's a great thing for him. Like, does he happen to have any best buddies at Dogtails? That I'm trying to basically push 2 dogs being adopted here is what I'm going for here.
You know, well, we can talk about that with the families. He's kind of that dog that's every dog's best friend.
Cool.
He's the dog, we call him, he's what we call a helper dog. So in playgroup, when a new dog comes into the playgroup, he's one of the first dogs there to greet them and show them around and introduce them to the other dogs in playgroup. So he makes fast friends with everyone that he meets.
Awesome. So he's like, you're super charming. He's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dog.
He is, exactly, yeah.
Now he's only 1 year old.
He is.
Is this disorder that he has, is it going to affect his lifespan?
It could. So right now we're doing a bit more testing. We don't know, we don't have a concrete prognosis right now for how much time he may have, but it's definitely something that could affect his lifespan. And like I said, it's a degenerative disease, so it the effects could get worse over time. That's why he's on the medication. So what we're trying to figure out right now is, you know, just how much time he has.
But you know, even if it's a shorter amount of time, as long as it's like an enriched, it's always about the quality of the time and not the quantity.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
You know, I just want to say too, I think it's incredible, like you know, Dogtails is located here in Ontario, in King City, that organizations around the world know about you. I mean, here you are, a rescue organization from Greece, knew about Dogtails, knew what you specialized in, and reached out to you and asked you to find, to take Hoppy and find him a home.
Yeah,
and
it's a good thing and a bad thing, because right now, on any given day, we're probably getting about 50 emails from individuals and organizations, both within Ontario and around the world, asking us for help with dogs. And truly the worst part of our job at this point is knowing that we can't take in all of these dogs. And in fact, we can only take in really a small group because we're limited to the space in our kennel and how many families are adopting each week. So
I have to cut you off, Claire. You know what? To help make more space for dogs at Dogtails, come and adopt Hoppy.
Please.
We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hi, my name's Katie Perry, and this is Tank. Tank was a surrender here at the OSPCA. He wasn't here very long before I met him, and it was a good fit right off the bat. Tank kind of rescued me in a way. I needed a buddy. I had lost my previous dog, and he kind of filled that spot and gave me some companionship when I really needed it. Tank is a Pug Yorkie mix. Tank is troublesome Tank and no one at home. We live on a small hobby farm, so he's constantly bugging horses and our chickens and ducks, but he absolutely loves it. He's quite stubborn when he wants to be, but overall he's a really good fit, really good guy. I love Tank with all my heart. I think that every dog or cat deserves a second chance, and I don't believe in leaving them when they really need a home.
And welcome back. Joining me now is Suzanne Kleinberg from the organization Team Cat Rescue. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Team Cat Rescue, you guys are based out of Toronto?
We are.
Tell me about your organization.
Okay, we're a volunteer-only organization, so no one takes a salary, and we've rescued since 2014 about 1,200 cats.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, most of our cats, we don't do strays and we don't take in surrenders. Most of our cats come from high-kill shelters, most of which from Quebec. That is because they actually do gassing chambers there, and they kill at a very high frequency healthy cats. So we have a group of volunteers that help us get these cats out, and we bring them here and we get them new homes.
Interesting. So you started in 2014.
Correct. Yes.
And you've already rescued 1,200 cats. That is a great volume.
Yes.
Now, because you're volunteer based and you don't have a primary shelter.
No, we don't.
So you really rely on a fostering network.
Absolutely. We're always in need of fosters. A lot of these cats come that are very, very shy. We do have some store spots, so we are in a variety of stores throughout the city. However, most of our cats do need foster homes because they're just a little too shy to sit in a store where, you know, kids can poke their fingers in. It's a little too much for a lot of them. But they do wonderfully in foster homes, and people can see what they're like in their homes. So.
Yeah, and how did you get partnered with the shelters in Quebec? How did that all begin?
We were part of another rescue, actually a dog rescue, who's actually rescuing from Quebec. And we broke out into being a cat rescue because there's far more cats than there were dogs.
There's always more cats in shelters than dogs.
Unfortunately, yeah. And it just started that way, and then we kind of broke off from the dog rescue to do our own thing. And there is a huge, fantastic volunteer network. People that go into the shelters, people that drive these cats into Ontario, vets, and people who foster. It's really quite amazing.
Well, how many people right now are volunteering in the organization?
We have probably about 40 or 50, but many of those people they're not able to do a lot of things, so they may just do screening calls on applications. They may do just adoption events. Some do just fostering, and some do just transport. So there's a role for everybody, no matter how much time you have or how many resources you have.
Well, especially if you have to drive to Quebec, I mean, that's a long haul, and you need the right vehicle if you want to get the cats and transport them in a very comfortable manner for them.
Well, there are a lot of people who do that already. Like, there is a group that actually pulls from Quebec and brings them here, and then we pick them up from Scarborough.
Oh, okay.
And then we do, our transporters are here.
Now, are you looking for more volunteers, foster homes? any sort of donations? How can people help Team Cat Rescue?
We're always looking for foster homes. So we'll have things like people who just, have kittens. So it's usually a very short time you have cats in your foster home. We have need for foster homes for seniors, for just because they are they're considered less adoptable, so they may stay a little longer. We need people who can transport within the city, take cats to vet appointments or to adopt-a-thons, and we definitely need donations because really we're living off of the adoption fees, which don't really cover our vet bills. Like all our money that we take in goes to vet bills.
And because of the cats that you're getting from the shelter, then you're not really discriminating. So you might take a pet, an animal that is in need of veterinary care. You take senior cats that sometimes need a little bit more. They might be on medications. This is part of your mandate?
Yes, we do take seniors, like we do, some cats that are coming in next week are going right into dental surgery, which we pay for. The adoption fee doesn't cover that. We take palliative care cats many times. So we have some cats that are just permanent fosters. They're just not, people just don't want to adopt them because maybe they're starting kidney failure or whatever issue they may have. So we take in blind cats, we take in tripods. We don't really, we don't sit there and say, oh, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
So, and then we worry about the cost later. We have some fantastic vets who are very patient, so.
Well, you are a registered charity too, so if
Yes.
anybody wants to give a financial donation, obviously you offer a receipt, and I do believe anything over $20 is something that you could put towards your tax return. So that's something to keep in mind, right?
Absolutely, and also if you also want to donate litter, because we're always in need of litter, if you give us the receipt for that, we can also provide a tax receipt too.
Have you partnered at all with any companies that might be able to provide things like litter or food?
Food we've gotten some donations, food donations. A lot of our stores are really generous when it comes to adopt-a-thons. They ask for food. It's harder to get litter
Yeah.
because people don't think about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the litter manufacturers, it's not like they get returns.
Yeah.
So we've kind of...
Once that stuff is used, it's used.
It's used, yeah, exactly. So litter is always something we always desperately need because people don't really think about it. Other supplies like litter boxes, we kind of get at the dollar store, so that's reasonable. So
Okay. So that's something to keep in mind if you're interested in helping out Team Cat Rescue, whether financially or you want to donate an item. Cat litter's on top of the list of must-have items. Speaking of adopting, you've brought two wonderful kitties that are looking for forever homes, and their litter mates. They're a little squirmy because a bit nervous being here, but that's okay. Now, this is Heath.
right.
Now, and Heath and Huckleberry are litter mates, so they're brothers, and surprisingly, these guys are only 4 months old.
Yep,
Now, did these guys come from the shelter?
they did.
So what's their story then?
They were dumped there with their sister Delancey, and they were
Well,
just,
that's for me, buddy.
people just kind of, I don't know, they don't spay and neuter for whatever reason.
Yep.
People,
Yep.
they'll bring them in and say they're strays, but they're really owned.
Yep.
By saying strays, you don't have to pay surrender fee usually. That's usually the trick of the game.
Oh, okay.
That's what people do.
I didn't know you had to pay a surrender fee if you brought in a stray.
Not if you're stray, but if you brought in
Oh,
your
I
own
see.
cat,
So they're like, I don't know whose cat this is.
yeah, I just
get
found it. Here you go. But
Yeah.
it's some people, they just don't spay and neuter their cats, which is crucial. And this is why you get a ton of cats and kittens stuck in high kill shelters because no one wants them.
And we talk about kitten season, and I'm sure as somebody who deals with cats all the time, you know that kitten season is quite lengthy.
Yes.
It's kind of winding down now, but I found especially this year because we did have a warmer season that there's more kittens. Like having oh, sorry, buddy, did I scare you? Having kittens in November is odd, right?
It is odd. It was crazy this year. I mean, it was just, normally it runs between April till about July or August, and it really starts to warm, lower down in terms of kittens. Kittens, it was quiet in April, and then I think by late May, early June, it burst.
Yeah.
And it's been nonstop. So now we're just starting to see it slow down a little bit, but we're still getting some kittens in or some pregnant moms.
Oh, well, these two guys totally need homes. And I just want to point out, so if you guys can see Heath's feet here, he's got really unique feet. So I think it's a little bit of a birth defect. Obviously, doesn't slow him down.
No.
He's a perfectly healthy kitty, but he just has really cool looking paws. It's like he's only got 2 toes as opposed to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Yeah.
Adopting, what's the
Yes.
process?
So the process is you fill out an application. You can get one on our site. You can email us at info@teamcatrescue.ca and we'll get you an application. You can check us out on Pet Finder or Adopt a Pet or even our own website to pick out a cat. And then one of our adoption coordinators will call you, and then it's a really easy process. It takes a few days.
Yep.
because we do vet checks and personal references if, you know, depending on what you have there. And also in terms of kittens, it's, if you don't have a young cat at home, then you do need to adopt 2 kittens.
Okay, that's good to know. I have to wrap it up because we've run out of time, but if you're interested in learning more about Team Cat Rescue, adopting the cats or the dog that you saw on today's show, please visit our website for more details. Thank you so much for watching What Pet Should I Get? And we'll see you next time. Say bye.